Happy Saturday!
Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. Before a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. Before a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Thank you so much, Sammy T, for renewing your membership, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Y'all hit that thumbs up button as you're rolling in. Let's get it started.
I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side. I'm gone, so don't run from the truth. You're lost, now I know you played me just like a flute. I still can't believe you had me on a leash, cutting all my teeth with all the lies you bring. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Who's ready to ride the Pearl Wave?
Let's take
Come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful
Rhonda, Butterfly, Sherry,
Join the journey, it's just begun.
Tina, Mara,
We shine brighter than the
Lolo,
sun. Hit the
Butterfly,
light
Brenda,
and
Wendy,
share
Carrie.
the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Helen's here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Spreading truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth
Thank
so
you, Holly.
clear.
Thank you, my love. Appreciate you.
The pearls were bound together through the storm and darkest weather. We search high, we search low, together everywhere we go. Justin's here and he's going live with the best fans by my side. We're a family, we hold strong. Together we can right the wrong. We clutch them
Agent Drew.
pearls.
Thank
We
you,
shine
baby.
like stars.
Thank you, my love.
Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community.
Our goddess, Deborah.
Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. In the night or in the day, girls will light and lead the way. Justin's heart and your support. Together we will hold the fort. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care.
Click play and come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Big brain, come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the light and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer.
Deborah.
Members make the truth so clear. And the truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
Well, hello, 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 my beautiful pearls. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is April 26th, 2025. It is currently 9:38 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hello, my beautiful pearls. So good to see you all. Really do appreciate you all so much for joining me. please go ahead and click that thumbs up. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Angel Mama. Be safe on the road. Be safe on the road when you drive, honey. Please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sammy, for renewing your membership. Really do appreciate that, my dear. Can't do it without you. So I really do appreciate your support. Holly, thank you so much, my love. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for being a mod and a member. Cajun Juju, thank you so much, my love. Really do appreciate you. And thank you for being a member as well. Well, thank you, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Got a lot to talk about today. And we are talking about the Sebastian Rogers case. We are also going to be talking about Virginia Giuffre. Am I saying that right? She has recently died, allegedly by self-inflicted unaliving herself. So a lot of people thinks it's kind of strange timing. We'll talk about that as well. She survived a bus crash a few weeks ago, and now she unalives herself. I don't know. We'll see. Really a sad situation. Really is a sad situation. Good to see you all. It's Saturday. Thank God. Thank God. Virginia Giuffre, she was allegedly one of the victims of Prince Andrew. Remember all of that? Please continue to pray for my husband that he continues to recover from brain bleed. He had surgery. Absolutely, Lisa. Absolutely. We will definitely keep him in your prayers. In our prayers, absolutely. Jan, thank you so much for a year. Wow. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that, Jan. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are well. Really do appreciate your support, my friend. Hope you are well, and you and yours. Yeah, Epstein, Prince Andrew, all of that. So it's a little weird if you ask me, but I don't know. You don't know what's going through someone's head at the time. She did make a claim when she was in the hospital that the doctor only gave her like 4 days to live. She got out of the hospital, went home, and a few weeks later now she is deceased. So I don't know. She could say Pebbles, good to see you, hun. Lomac, Janice, Lisa, Lori, Lorraine, Sherry, Shadow, Lost Voices with Jackie, Tasha, Pebbles, Angel of Light. Good to see you all. Thank you all for joining me. First, we're going to be talking about the Sebastian Rogers case. I'm going to be playing some of our good friend, and not only our good friend Ahmad, and a great creator and a really great human being, Spirit Seeker Squad. I'm going to be playing some of her videos. Make sure y'all go subscribe to her as well. I'm going to put her link in the description as well. So let me do this before I forget about it. Spirit Seeker Squad. And she does some lives sometimes too. Sometimes I join her on her lives, and we have a power panel. Not familiar with the second case. Well, it's the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And yeah, we love Mandy Pickle. We love Mandy. She's just a great human being. She really is. I'm going to be talking different things about Sebastian Rogers' case. If you guys remember, Edgar recently said that he wrote the parenting plan. And that's not really surprising to me, in my opinion. Hey, Smiley, good to see you. Oh, Jennifer, I do it for you guys. Otherwise, I would be in my jammies and everything else too, to be honest. I do it for you guys. Only because of you guys. That's it. That's it. So I feel like people should, when you're, talking to the public and stuff, you should try to put a little effort in as a creator, not just sit behind one of these things 24 hours a day. I think that is, I don't know. I just, people need to see your face, in my opinion. Just me. But, you look at the writing of, like, anything that is out there. In my opinion, I believe Edgar wrote this as well. Just my opinion. First of all, I want to say everything you hear today is my opinion and my opinion alone. We're going to be talking about the Sebastian Rogers case, and that Sebastian Rogers has been missing since February 25th, 2024. And that being said, I have been told through email with the investigator on the case that this is a criminal case. So I do say it is a criminal case because I have been told that, and I stand by my work, and I stand by that 100%. So this is a criminal case. However, that being said, law enforcement has not stated that anyone is a suspect in this case whatsoever. They have not given a suspect, suspects, or persons of interest. However, Sebastian did not walk out of this house by himself, in my opinion. Everything that we talk about today is my opinion and my opinion alone. We are not saying anyone is guilty whatsoever of anything. Please do your own research, that as well. Like I said, my opinion is my opinion. Everyone in this chat has their own opinion, and my opinion doesn't reflect on the chat, and the chat's opinion doesn't reflect on me. So, and that also goes with the Virginia Giuffre. I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. I don't know. Case as well. Everything I say is my opinion as well. So, if you don't mind, just put allegedly or in my opinion. That would be great as well. That way, someone doesn't take something someone says out of the chat and says, oh my God, someone said this in chat, and it was really just your opinion and not, vice versa. Anyway, him writing the parenting plan is so insane. It is. Giuffre. Yeah, I think it's Giuffre. I'm pretty sure it is. Let me just 1 second. Let me just make sure I'm saying it right, so I don't. Giuffre. That's how you say it. Giuffre. Okay. With that being said, let's continue. Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Really, really, really would appreciate it. If you want to become a member, we would love to have you as a member here on the Pearl family. You get exclusive content and exclusive lives that others don't get to see. All right, moving forward. So this is a video. It says, Edgar has been controlling the narrative since the very beginning, and I agree with Mandy on this. This is that
Katie
court
Proudfoot and Seth
document where they talk about Seth, about the things Seth allegedly did. And if you go back and look at some of the court cases with Nina, the way things are written, to me, it says all we need to see. Oh, Rita, I'm so sorry, honey. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Deepest sympathies, my dear. No, we thank you so much, my friend. So good to see you. Hope you are well. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member here on the Pearl family. Thank you so much, my dear. All right, let's get it started, y'all.
Rogers. This is Sebastian Rogers' mother's sworn statement regarding Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father. Since returning from deployment in December, I have witnessed a multitude of events from Seth. I have seen him hit Sebastian in the head, neck, and back. I have witnessed him when taking
The word multitude to me is something Edgar
his
sounds like.
anger out on Sebastian.
In my opinion, you can hear him all in this. You can just hear Edgar all in this, in my
Grab
opinion.
him with both hands, lift his entire body up, and slam him down, then proceed to beat him. He has on many cases whipped him with a belt, not paying attention to where he was hitting because he was so angry. My neighbors informed me that during my duty days, they have seen Sebastian on multiple occasions coming outside the house, crying and looking for his dad because he had been gone for long periods of time and didn't know where he was. They told my son to go inside and lock the door when this occurred. Seth will, on a regular basis, just walk into the living room and get naked, not caring that Sebastian is in the area and sees this. On several occasions, when Sebastian expressed stress or anxiety about our separation or his daddy's anger, he would respond by telling Sebastian that this is all because mommy doesn't want to love daddy anymore. But
I really don't believe any of this, to be quite honest with you. And it was also unfounded. Seth got split custody. I don't believe any of this. But, I think, in my opinion, just like this, what was it, December, right before Sebastian went missing. So it'd be technically December 2023, whenever Nina was, meeting KK at the airport. I think that they wanted to upset her, and they do these things to upset the other party.
the second week of school, the teachers had already requested that the principal be present anytime that Seth were due to him, making them uncomfortable. When we went to the school to meet his teacher before the school year had started, we had just finished explaining about Sebastian's diagnosis and about the fluid on his brain, and he did something to irritate his father, who then responded by hitting him in the head in front of his teacher. And when I addressed him about it and told him he cannot do that and cannot keep doing that because it is wrong, he told me it wasn't that hard and it's fine, and people need to stop telling him how to raise his son. I found out when I took the restraining order to the school that they had contacted CPS, Child Protective Services, 1 week prior. The social worker and myself have seen behaviors from my son, such as waking up screaming and kicking in the middle of the night with terrors, fear of making a mistake for fear that daddy will beat him. He had an accident at school where he wet his pants and was terrified for daddy to find out. He is displaying aggressive behaviors that mirror what his father says and does. I've reached out to his doctor.
I think this is all projection. Absolutely all projection, in my opinion. Remember, they said Sebastian was already having accidents at school. And what happened? What happened? They took all of his underwear out, gave it to Seth, and allegedly Sebastian was having accidents at the school, and because of that, allegedly KK got or Edgar got mad, and KK of going to the school all the time bringing clothes when they could have just given extra clothes to the school. They could have just completely given extra clothes to the school. Um, it's just a lot of projection. Nerdy, congratulations to your new grandbaby. That's amazing, love. Congratulations. That's amazing.
And I'm requesting assistance with therapy for PTSD in light of the child abuse and to help my son recover from this. I have spoken to his doctor, and a referral is in place for therapy to start as soon as possible to help him with this transition and to cope and
And what's interesting is, remember, unfortunately, Sebastian had something terrible, terrible happen to him in California. And KK, and in my opinion, Edgar, but specifically KK, is saying all of these horrible things against Seth. The therapy was after what happened to Sebastian. Yes. 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 Thank you, the truth, please. Thank you so much, honey.
recover from the trauma that he has been through. Seth has been monitoring all of my phone calls and not allowing me to speak with anyone, including my family, without listening.
Very good point, Jessica. If Seth did all this and was scared of his father, then why in the hell would Edgar and KK want Seth to take him? That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And remember, in the beginning, KK said, Seth was Sebastian's biggest fan, and that he was the one always in the front row. In fact, there's a lot of home video of Sebastian at different concerts and all of that. And there's no KK or Edgar around anywhere in those videos.
He has been monitoring every text and call that I make to catechinize me and keep me from telling people exactly what has been going on, hovering over every call that I make. On June 5th, 2016, Seth was very angry and belligerent. He stormed out of the house and got into that Chevy Cruze and peeled tires out of the parking lot. Approximately 30 minutes, give or take later, he came back, pulling in crooked and fast, jumped out of the
Well, he probably did not want, if that is true, he probably did not want his son speaking to, I don't know, an RSO.
car, ran inside the house, looking for his gun, stating that he was going to kill that blank. My neighbor was over at the time and took recording of him during that time. I responded that if he took his gun and tried to kill someone, he would wind up in jail, and that he could not do that. My neighbor went outside with him and spoke to him, where he stated that someone followed him and threw a soda at the car. Soda was all over the outside and inside of the car, and pulled him out of the car through the driver's side window and punched him in the face. He said he did nothing to provoke this and refused to make a police report after being repeatedly advised to call the police and make an incident report. He did not have markings, but was exaggerating his limp for approximately 5 minutes before walking normally again. I have also received multiple complaints at various times throughout the last 4 to 6 months from neighbors that he makes them feel uncomfortable.
These who wrote this, this is what KK alleged against Seth. Now, remember, the judge said this was unfounded, absolutely unfounded, meaning they found no truth or that it to be legitimate in this case. Seth got equal custody. That's what I'm saying, Jessica. just like he wrote the parenting plan. And if you go over some of the things in Nina and Edgar's court,
because he is standing out front, confronting everyone when they come home or watching them. My neighbor in unit blank is in the process of adopting, and they have persons coming to their house on a regular basis. I caught Seth approximately 1 month ago confronting the gentleman because he parked in a spot and telling him he doesn't care who the F he is, and if he does it again, he'll take action to have his car towed or beat his ass. This was to a social worker there to check their home, and he knew it. Attached are pictures of our son with marks left by the respondent, which are not going to be shown here. I certify under penalty or perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. And this is signed Sebastian's mother, Katie Rogers. From the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, receipt and notice of confiscation of weapons. The weapons seized were relinquished pursuant to Penal Code 29625D and will be retained by the Sheriff's Department until the protective order is no longer in effect. You may contact the Property Evidence Unit, Dundas, at 858-467-4406 with any questions. In the matter of Rogers, I, Seth Rogers, declare that I am the respondent in the above captioned matter and have personal knowledge of each fact set forth in this declaration. If called,
listen to how Seth responds to this, and he responds brilliantly, in my opinion.
as a witness, I could and would competently testify within the bounds hereto. Petitioner Katie L. Rogers, herein referred to as Katie, and I were married on June 21st, 2008, and still reside together. We have been married for 8 years and 3 months. We have one child together, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, hereinafter referred to as Sebastian. Born December 7, 2008, on or about August 29, 2016, Katie obtained a temporary restraining order against me and had me removed from our marital residence. She listed Sebastian as a protected party and obtained a child custody order through the TRO, forbidding me to see him. There is a permanent domestic violence restraining order hearing set for September 16, 2016 before this court. Since
Bingo,
being served
Mohawk.
with the
Bingo.
DVTRO, I have not violated the DVTRO and have had no impermissible contact with either petitioner or our son. On August 29, 2016, and September 8, 2016, I turned in the firearms I was in legal possession of to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. Attached hereto as Exhibit A are true and correct copies of the receipts and notices of confiscation. I have abided by the terms of the DVTRO, even though Katie's actions rendered me homeless. Request. Katie's request for a restraining order is based upon the following. I was highly aggressive in my mannerisms, and I cursed and yelled at her, not a basis for a restraining order under the facts. I was very angry, yelling at our son, and our son said, "Daddy hit me," not a basis for a restraining order under the facts, as I never hit him. I have yelled at her and our son and slammed the door, breaking it, not a basis for a restraining order under the facts.
Note, Seth Rogers was not ordered to take any anger management classes nor any parenting classes as well. Now, that cannot be said for Edgar, of course. Edgar has had to take them multiple times, and in my opinion, it clearly has not worked.
Generic allegations of temper issues, false and not a basis for a restraining order, even if true. Generic allegation of drug usage, false and in and of itself not a basis for a restraining order, even if true. As a result of these baseless allegations,
And Mandy put here, she clips this, and Edgar, 12-hour high conflict behavioral skill training, 24-hour parenting skills, ages 0 to 18.
respectfully request the court deny Katie's request for a permanent domestic violence restraining order in full. There is no basis for her claims, and she fails to prove conduct under the Domestic Violence Prevention Act that would justify a restraining order. Incident
No PPO was ordered,
of
was not
August
granted.
28th, 2016. In her request for DVRO, Katie claims that on August 28th, 2016, I was being highly aggressive in my mannerisms and verbally watching her in her sleep. And I yelled at her because she is not willing to beat her son. This is not true. And even if it was, it would not be the basis for a DVRO. What actually happened on this day is that I was having a difficult time with our son. He refused to do anything I asked of him. I asked him to clean his room and he replied no, and that he didn't have to listen to me or do anything I asked him to do. And he told me I should apologize for asking him to clean his room. I attempted to appropriately discipline him by sternly telling him that under no circumstances should he ever speak to any adult, let alone his mother or father, the way he spoke to me. After this, Sebastian ran downstairs to Katie, jumped in her lap, and started saying he hated me, and that he wished
Yeah. You see, Seth talked to Sebastian sternly. You need to clean your room. Sebastian fired back, and Seth said, "You don't talk to any adult like this, let alone your mother or your father." He didn't go humiliate him and throw his shit out in the curb, did he? That's not what he did. That's what his stepfather has willingly admitted to and has actually offered it as parenting advice. Interesting. Um, I can't imagine if KK has such a problem with speaking stern about talking to your child about not speaking to you or any adult that way, which is the correct way, right? I mean, you can't have kids yelling at you. You're their parent. And they need to respect elders. That's what you do. So I'm sure that she would have such an issue with, Edgar throwing her son's stuff out, not taking it away temporarily, but throwing it out to humiliate him as much as a person can do. Humiliation is one of the worst things you can do to a child. You should never, ever, ever do that.
I would leave and never come back. After Sebastian seemed to calm down a bit, Katie got up from the chair she was in and walked outside. And Sebastian approached me and told me he loved me and wanted to live with me after all. After this incident, I was very upset, but I was never violent in any way. Our neighbor was in the house and she said something about being uncomfortable. I told our neighbor I was going to just get some coffee and go outside to be alone. When I did, our neighbor followed me outside and asked me what was wrong. I told her how I was feeling and asked her to just let me calm myself down and compose myself. At no point did I act violently toward her or anyone else in the house, and I never yelled at Katie because she wouldn't beat on our son. There was never any violence, nor was there any threat of violence. Incident of August 22nd, 2016. In her request for DDRO, Kay claims that on August 22nd, 2016, I was being belligerent and yelling at her and our son. This is not true, and even if it was, it would not be the basis for a DVRO. What actually happened on this day was that Katie and I were arguing about how we were going to proceed with our divorce. Our divorce has been filed, and we were still residing in the same house, which created a tense situation. Although we argued, I never once acted violently, and never once did I encourage her to beat on our son. As she alleges in her pleadings, during our argument, I left the residence and slammed the door, but her claim that I broke the door is false. The door was already
Yeah,
broken
I just
ever
want
once.
to show this right here because she writes, Mandy writes, it's possible and probable that KK was already in a relationship with her now husband, Edgar, at this time due to Edgar's own words. You can ask Seth, you can ask Nina, you can ask uh, Nina and Edgar's neighbors at the time and others, and they will tell you that they were already together in their opinion. And I absolutely believe that. Absolutely believe that. Um, Now, KK has claimed that they weren't together for like, I think 2 years afterwards. Do the math. Do the math.
Did I encourage her to beat on our son? As she alleges in her pleadings,
And this is the thing, if they would potentially lie about something like that, well, now there's a child missing and a story that just keeps changing, just keeps changing over and over and over again.
During our argument, I left the residence and slammed the door, but her claim that I broke the door is false. The door was already broken before I slammed it. Again, there was never any violence, nor was there any threat of violence. Incident of August 11, 2016. In her request for DDRO, Katie claims that on August 11, 2016, I was angry at our son, and that our son told her that I hit him. The truth is that I never put a hand on our son. Our son suffers from a rare condition called 6q27 chromosomal deletion syndrome. Among the symptoms he suffers from are incidents of acting out, where he hits and bites himself out of frustration. He has been known to throw himself to the ground during these incidents. This is a very common thing for him, and others have witnessed him doing this. I have filed herewith declarations from some of these witnesses. On August 11, 2016, Sebastian suffered from an episode in which he hurt himself out of frustration. I had told him that day if he cleaned his room, he could go swimming.
Right, Sammy?
I asked him if his room was clean, and he replied that it wasn't. I told him he couldn't go swimming until it was clean. Sebastian reacted by flying into a rage, screaming and hitting himself, biting himself, and trying to throw himself on the floor.
That's perfectly normal for a lot of kids. If they don't, you don't clean your room, you're not going anywhere, right? Or we're not going swimming or whatever. It's a perfectly normal thing to do. And it's perfectly normal for them to throw a fit, much less if they have a chromosome deletion and they are autistic. So, he just said, clean your room or we're not going anywhere. It's a perfectly normal thing to say to your kid. It's not normal to, throw their stuff out permanently. It's not normal to get rid of someone's an autistic child with a chromosome deletions. Cats, it's not normal to get rid of their snakes whenever you're the one who brought the snakes in and then you got rid of it.
I reached out to catch him before his head hit the door frame. At no time did I ever.
You gave him the snake. In fact, you brought an umpteen amount of snakes in there and you bred them or whatever you did with them. And then you said you took them to a buddy's house. The person did not know you at all, didn't know you from Adam. They have came out since and said they didn't know you from Adam. You did not tell them to keep the snakes or Sebastian's snake, but this person knew that Sebastian was upset about getting rid of a snake, and he actually kept that snake out of all of them and still has it to this very day. And he also said Sebastian, because he couldn't take care of 30 snakes, and Edgar was on the road a lot, so he just decided to get rid of all of them. Well, you're the one who brought 30 snakes in. You set up the breeding and all that stuff. One snake is not, and I mean not, high maintenance whatsoever. He shouldn't have to take care of 30 snakes so he could keep the one snake that you gave him.
Hit him or display any violent actions in him at all. Here it skips straight to 20, so you will see that there is one page missing. I do not have that page. Katie's real response for filing her DDRO request. I believe Katie only filed this request for DDRO in order to gain a tactical advantage in our divorce, and specifically to get me kicked out of our marital residence. As stated above, our living situation was quite stressful as we were going through the divorce process while living together. However, I believe Katie knew she could not remove me from the home without staging a domestic violence incident. This was totally unnecessary, as I know that we cannot live together any longer and I'm willing to move out without a court order to do so. Also, I know that she did not want me to have equal custody of Sebastian, so the DDRO is also an attempt to ensure that I do not see our son. Conclusion: Katie and Sebastian have no reason to fear me. I have never harmed, harassed, or threatened them. Katie's request for DDRO is simply a tactic she is using to try to get me kicked out of the marital residence and cease my contact with our son. I respectfully request the court deny her request in full. I also request the court order Katie to pay my reasonable attorney fees to defend against her false accusation.
Now, I know that there's been a lot of paperwork, documents that were leaked out here in these internet streets, describing you as just painting you in not a great light, for lack of a better term. And it all has to do with how you were handling your relationship with Sebastian, okay? For lack of a better term. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because I know that there's been a lot of people talking about that, some people side-eyeing, etc., saying, oh, Sebastian was in a bad place no matter where he turned, so on and so forth. And I just wanted to air some of that information and just kind of lay some of that.
Alafide, that's absolutely true. To be fair, most people with DV accusations deny it. That is true. But there's never been any sort of thing like that in Seth's history as well. So
Bed.
both
What's
are
up with
true.
that paperwork? Is any of it actually true? What
If
say
any
you?
of that was true,
Listen,
California would not have given me joint legal and joint physical custody while I was homeless.
What
If
say
any
you?
of that was true, California would not have given me joint legal and joint physical custody while I was homeless.
When Katie and Chris met,
California would have not given Seth joint legal and joint physical custody. And we know how California is, right?
they were both married. Katie was married to Seth and had one child, Sebastian. Chris was married to Nina and had one daughter. They both divorced their spouses, and they both made very similar claims during the process. Katie filed for divorce and custody in 2016, which we heard some of those details.
Very, very, very similar claims. The claims that Edgar made in Nina's, very, very similar.
In this video,
in my
Chris and
opinion.
Nina started their divorce and custody battle in October of 2017. That battle was horrendous also, to say the least. There was a parenting plan entered in Chris and Nina's case in April of 2018. I'm betting that Mr. Chris wrote that along with any and all allegations made against Nina. When these documents came out about Katie's request for a PPO against Seth, I had said I believed Chris was responsible for a lot of what was
Thank you,
said in the
Cookie.
documents filed with the courts. Now we have proof he was from his own words. Let's listen.
Like I said, I'm going to break my little grace thing for a little bit. So, no, I'm not going to bash the shit out of him, but I am going to put this out there for him to hear. For Seth R. Rogers and your little billboard and your little crew and all your fucking at-night little minions and whatever the fuck y'all want to call it, TikTok Tony or Little Dick Tony or whatever the fuck y'all want to call the guy. I don't give a shit.
Oh, my
But
God.
I'm going to put this out there, Seth. And what you forgot was your parenting plan, still a legal document. And in that parenting plan, it says you cannot talk negatively about the other parent and
vice versa, as he talks negative about Seth for a long time, and vice versa, as he does the same thing.
vice versa. But you seem to do it anyways. So keep it
I bet the judge would understand when they're shown the facts and the current circumstances. Absolutely.
up. You're just building evidence for a court hearing.
Always wants to be.
Take the fucking billboards down and stop the bullshit.
There you go. That's what it was. It was all about the billboards. All about the billboards of his missing son, his missing stepson. There you go. The billboards mention no names. I would think only the guilty would be pissed about it. I agree. It says nothing. It doesn't say anyone's name other than Sebastian Rogers, which is all that it needs to say. Google it, y'all. Yes, please Google Sebastian Rogers.
Oh,
I agree with that.
We got
And I know
one.
your parenting plan because I wrote the motherfucker myself.
Thank you for the confirmation.
The internet can break the fuck today because I'm over it.
Nah, Chris, nothing broke except for the blood vessels in your brain as you freaked out and showed the world who Christopher Proudfoot really is. Poor
And that the anger management did nothing.
Sebastian was forced to live with that. We already heard you avoid the
I can't imagine. Sebastian had to have been terrified, in my opinion. I could not imagine living with someone like that. I really couldn't.
actual answer when you were asked if you yelled at your mom after court, because you sure didn't just say no, did you? I don't care how you feel about Brittany J. She hasn't said anything to deserve any part of what Chris said during this live stream. I can only imagine the wrath that Sebastian felt living with Chris. Anyway, that's all I have for right now, but more is coming soon. So make sure that you're subscribed, ring a ding my bell, smooch the thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. May you have the kind of day that kind of feels you bone, especially you, Mr. Chris. And until next time, I love you bunches.
Big round of applause for our dear spirit seeker. Very good videos. Make sure you sub up to her. Thank you for dropping that link, Hindsight, and also for the replay crew. It is in the description as well. Now, this one is Edgar said Sebastian Rogers showed his teachers, which resulted in an open CPS case. And this is kind of what we were talking about last night. Edgar stops in his place when he is speaking. What did Sebastian show? Not tell, show the teachers. What is it? I don't know. I don't know. But whenever anybody during an interview has asked Edgar, it's, what does that have to do with the price of eggs in China? I always thought it was tea, but, Edgar is not privy to that apparently. So there's that. Here we go.
House, he got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" And got it. Whack. Got him. So he goes to school and he tells his teacher. They're mandatory reporters, so the teacher reports it. Mm-hmm. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. So
again, and the lady that came to the house is the same lady she's had a case before. Oh, did he say that afternoon? Hold on.
While we're actually sitting down to eat dinner.
Hold on.
So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. They're mandatory reporters, so the teacher reports it. Mm-hmm. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you,
hold on.
15 actually sitting down to eat dinner. Reports it. Mm-hmm. That afternoon, CPS shows up.
That afternoon, I just now realized that. Wow. Girl mom, that afternoon. So, you guys know that one of my girlfriends, she works for CPS, and CPS, it varies by state, but they have a timeline on when they come to your house. And if it's urgent in most states, I'm not saying this is in all states or anything, but if it's urgent, it's that day. And if it's not urgent, then some states they have 48 or 72 hours. Some states it's even longer than that. It just depends on how urgent they feel that it is. Yes, that's correct. I'm in Connecticut and it's the same. Yeah. So it just depends. If they feel that it's urgent, especially, injury or even death, God forbid, they will show up that day. So he just says that afternoon. He says, mind you, a 15-year-old isn't real happy because he's being punished. Well, I've always thought that a spanking was considered punishment. I didn't know they were still punished even after the spanking. CPS has a priority 1, 2, and 3, a priority 1. Yes, within the first 24 hours. So it sounds like they, whatever it is, thought that it was pretty important, in my opinion. That's really interesting. Very good listening right there, girl mom, when you said that. I never noticed that. And that's right. He said Sebastian showed, and he caught himself, the teacher. What did he show? What did he show? And Edgar says this was years ago. Years ago. But he also says, remind you, a 15-year-old. It's impressive how wrong he can be with such confidence. It really is.
Up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being.
I mean, he should be exhausted of carrying around all the misplaced authority. Just exhausted.
Punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house.
Did you hear that? The same lady as the CPS lady, she's had a case before. And then he says, listen.
He shows, he makes a report. They come to the house.
So he shows, he makes a report and they come to the house.
And the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a.
And the same lady that's came to the house we've had she's had a case before. Even the closed captions picked it up. I wonder, Abigail, what was shown as well. I wonder what was shown as well. And only, I don't know.
The case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one. And when they finally,
he's going to talk about here, the case before is like 3 stories shoved into one, and by the time they got it debunked. Well, to me, it sounds like anytime Sebastian knew something was wronged or something was done against him, he spoke to the teachers. And the teachers obviously found enough probability to his story, in my opinion, that they called.
They got it debunked. They were like,
Now, remember, I have spoke to staff members at this school. They have contacted me before, and I can tell you that whenever Sebastian first went missing, they just looked at each other and they thought something happened, something's wrong, in their opinion. I have read some of those emails to you guys. Was that the open CPS case? Allegedly, there was an open CPS case whenever Sebastian was missing.
oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into three and it caused a commotion. Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing? It's her again." She's like, "Oh, hey." She's, "Hey, I already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Boom, boom, boom." She told me exactly what happened. I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Exactly what happened. And he said, so let's get this straight. So Sebastian goes and tells the teacher, and the teacher finds enough probability that Sebastian tells this teacher or shows this teacher. The teacher contacts CPS, and CPS obviously contacts the school before, and then the CPS person goes out to Sebastian's home. Edgar says that this CPS person says blah, 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 and tells him exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. And Edgar says, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." So, Sebastian, if that's true, Edgar, that means Sebastian told the teacher exactly what was said or what happened at the home. The teacher said exactly what Sebastian said. And the CPS lady told you exactly what happened, your words, that part, and you said, yes, ma'am. So they all got it right in that chance. And you're saying the time before that, Sebastian got 3 stories mixed into one? But this time, perfect. Is that what you're saying? And is that what you are wanting people to believe? He got everything perfect this time. Listen to this again. Listen to the words. Oh, what did I do? I took the volume
He got
off.
so mixed up in telling one, shoved into one, something that
Listen to this.
now the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3 and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up.
The one on me. Now, also notice the dogs barking like hell in the background. Listen to them.
Well, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3 and it caused a commotion. Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing? It's her again." She's like, "Oh, hey." She's, "Hey, I already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Boom, boom, boom." She told me exactly what happened. I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Yes, ma'am. This is how it's been.
Do you get what I'm saying? Everything Sebastian said, the last story, 3 stories mixed into one, and they debunked it. But the next story that he tells is perfect. Perfect. So, oh, hey, it's you again. This is how it's been. This is how it's been. I don't think it's been that way because of Sebastian. I don't think it's been that way because of Sebastian. Yeah, you can hear the dogs barking up a tree. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, it's insanity, to be honest with you. Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate you.
Sebastian thought by telling on me, making it sound like I was so horrible.
You are, in my opinion. You are. Telling on me. There's nothing to tell on you if you're a decent human being to him. Telling on you? Goodness gracious. Making it sound like I was so horrible. And remember, the other time in another incident, he says Sebastian thought he was going to get me kicked out of my house. You know how Edgar is, right? You've seen how he is with other creators just talking about his truck. Can you imagine a 15-year-old asking for protection? And let's say, for instance, they did ask him to leave. How do you think that would go? How do you think that would go with Edgar? He works hard. Edgar works hard. You give him that. They're hard workers. But I don't think that's going to go very well, in my opinion.
And I was like, no, Sebastian, you got punished, man. You got punished. And he was like, but, and I was like, you got punished. And the lady took him outside. She goes, Sebastian, just because you get in trouble and you get punished, you need to understand when you go and you say things about people and you.
In my opinion, either the CPS person was absolutely duped, or he's lying about this. One or the other. And in my opinion, I think she might have been duped, because allegedly she was fired. I love how he tells KK to put up the dogs before bed, but yet another interview he says the dogs sleep with her when she's not at home. Yep. Yep. That's right. That's right. He succeeded, in my opinion, of keeping Edgar away from him and the house. So Edgar, it's very sad. Very sad.
Lie, you fabricate things, and you make it sound worse than what it is.
Fabricate things. I don't think a 15-year-old autistic child with a chromosome deletion who said everything right, according to you, Edgar, you said, yes, ma'am. He said, told me exactly. And I said, yes, ma'am. This is how it's been. I don't think a 15-year-old autistic child with a chromosome deletion knows how to fabricate things as your words. And I certainly don't think he was lying on that, especially when you said everything correctly. Your words. Again, your words. I think it was planned soon after CPS lady left. That's why Sebastian was not. Yeah. I agree, hindsight. I agree, baby. Guys, hit the thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate it if we get 1,000 thumbs up. We have a chicken party. You don't want to miss the chicken party. I'm just saying. Just saying. Consider becoming a member of the Pearl family if you haven't yet. Get exclusive.
Sir,
content.
you can get in trouble for that. So we had a
So not only does after Sebastian goes and tells exactly how things are, he flips the table on Sebastian and says, "Sir, you can get in trouble for that." We have Sumner County CPS meeting. Yes, you sent that to me last night, didn't you? Yes, there are 5 reports. I think there's 3 cases and 5 reports, from what I understand.
that happened, and the lady was like, "I am so sorry." And I said, "No, he's just a child. He's upset."
The manipulation here is astounding. It is astounding that, sir, you can get in trouble for that. And he's saying that this lady is saying, please, if you don't mind, girl mom, he's saying, you can get in trouble for that, Sebastian. And he's actually saying that the CPS agent, the lady, I'm assuming it's a lady, is saying, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry to come out here and apologize to you. I have never, ever, ever seen that. Oh, he's just a child. He's just a child. Goodness gracious. Let's sing Amazing Grace and Kumbaya all together.
It is what it is. I'm okay with it. He sat that back down at the dinner table and was like, "See, eat your food."
And we've been back, and it's just been great ever since. Oh my God, it's been great ever since. Can't even tell you.
And we went back, and everything's been fine.
I've got a question for you. I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
This is coming from someone, he sounds so confident for someone who eats cereal with a fork. Just does.
Mr. Proudfoot, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were asking Katie. Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying. And I had asked him, I said, "Hey, you got to have a punishment for this." He says, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Okay." So I gave him a swat with a belt on his buttocks on the outside of his clothes, one swat.
What did he lie about?
Honestly, I don't remember at the time, but it was probably something dealing with school because that's majority where his issues lie.
Did he have other issues at school?
Some behavioral stuff, but nothing too crazy.
What kind of behavioral stuff?
He'll not stop and he continues on. So then it causes an issue. And instead of being honest about it, he'll lie like, "No, I didn't." Okay, Sebastian.
Constantly mocking the child. I think he has, I really think that he constantly mocked this child. I really believe that, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Eileen. Thank you, my dear. The victim blaming is heartbreaking. Love you, Giuffre. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Much love to you, love. Thank you for your support. Lolo, Nancy Grace saw right through them. Yeah, and not only that, I think she sees right through those two, in my opinion, as well.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first time? Was that the first time you had ever hit him with a belt?
Yes, ma'am. The one and only time, actually. The one and only time, actually.
When was this?
Years ago, ma'am.
Any idea how many?
She's got a buzzer.
3, 10, 1?
It probably at least 3 years ago.
I don't understand how that.
Mandy's got her own buzzer there. Oh my God. This is someone's been married 5 times. And honestly, from what the people say, like he was looking for number 6. Like, I guess he was looking for someone new to disappoint. That's the only thing I can think of.
That turned into a CPS or Child Protective Services complaint. How were they alerted?
I mean, his marriages last as long as a free trial at a gym membership, full of promises, all the time, ending in regret.
That you hit him with a belt.
That did not turn into a CPS service call.
Okay.
He's got more wives than he does brain cells.
Back Sebastian here. Like I said, I got nothing to hide. So Sebastian went to school one day because we were at the house. He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" And got it. Whack. Got him. So whack. Got him. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished.
Okay. I'm telling you. Who would be attracted to this nut? I mean, I really believe that, I think he knows how to charm them. I really do. I really do. I don't know if he walks women down the aisle or he leads them into a hostage situation, one or the other. I'm just saying something's not pervy, in my opinion. Mr. Chris says Sebastian Rogers usually showered every night. I never realized this. Sometimes, even after all the times that I have listened to this, you guys catch things, I catch things, and it's very interesting. It leads him into a nightmare. Yeah, that's for sure. His idea of marriage counseling is Googling how to lie better and blame her for it.
accounted for.
Did y'all catch Mom?
And
I
it
didn't
broke
quite
up a little
hear.
bit for me. Did you hear?
Okay. She said that she won't divulge how many pairs of shoes he has,
Divulge.
but law enforcement has accounted for every pair of shoes.
I have accounted for all the shoes.
Okay.
Vet Girl says, can you ask what Sebastian's normal school night routine is? Like some kids like to have their shower or a favorite blanket, their favorite pajamas. Please and thanks.
Sure. Sebastian comes home, gets off the school bus, comes in the house, does his chores, completes his homework, eats dinner. That time kind of varies. I don't have a set time on that. Bedtime, we normally.
He doesn't have usually a set time. He normally doesn't have a set time on when he can eat. Do you hear the control? Listen to that.
Does his chores, completes his homework, eats dinner. That time kind of varies. I don't have a set time on that. But
he doesn't have a set time on that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. His marriage license should come with a 90-day return policy. I really believe that.
Time we normally have it right around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Sebastian gets a shower most of the time before he goes to bed, around 7 o'clock ish.
He gets a shower around 7 o'clock ish. Now, did he not get a shower February 25th? Did he not get a shower February 25th? That's the question. Nothing spoken about return policy and a lifetime warranty of therapy. Yeah. Yeah. He's always answering it. But remember, he wasn't there. He was 3.5 hours away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. All right.
Nobody's hiding him for you all, right?
Nope.
Not at all. Not at all.
Nope.
And did you get a lawyer?
No.
So that's false. That was put out there.
You hear the difference in nope and no. How people answer something is very important. Very important. No med mentioned in a year. Right. He said he created his parenting plan. So control. I mean, my God, his parenting plan. His parenting plan. Insanity. Why is he always answering? Control. That's why. I guess Hong or whatever wanted to talk to KK and he said, "You're not getting to her." Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Interesting. Now, recently, which I about just fell out of my chair whenever Edgar is, he always says that Seth was at work. We know Seth was at work. I can tell you 1,000% Seth was at work. He was seen on camera the entire time he was at work of over a 12-hour shift. The only time he's not on camera in that 12 hours total of 20 minutes. And that's usually when he was in the bathroom out of a 12-hour shift in 20 minutes. He recently said, well, you weren't there for 2 hours. And we know where that came from, but now he's saying it.
Chris, do you think that Seth had anything to do with the disappearance of his child?
No.
100% at your soul, you don't believe
I don't
Katie,
feel
or
he
Seth?
does. No, absolutely not. And everybody will has their own opinions, but Seth was at work. After I got off the phone with law enforcement, I told Katie, I said, I'll call you right back. Next phone call, the next phone call I made was directly to Seth. Immediately. I called his phone. It went to.
Now, this is another problem here because from 6:03, which is when KK calls Edgar, to 6:33, which is when they call Sumner County Sheriff, and then they hang up, and then they call dispatch. At, I think it's 6:19 or something, Edgar either calls or texts, I can't remember, Seth. He says right here that they call law enforcement, and then after that, he says, KK, I'm going to hang up with you, and I'm going to call Seth. But that's not true, according to the times that they say. 6:03, she's on the phone with Edgar. And we've always wondered what was going on for 30 minutes from 6:03 to 6:33. The only thing we knew was that Edgar, in that 30 minutes, is that Edgar called Seth. But here he's saying he called Seth after they contacted law enforcement. 6:22. 6:22 was the text Seth got. 911, call me. Same text that he sent Nina. Yes. So listen to this.
Was directly to Seth. Immediately.
Hold on.
I called his phone. No, absolutely not. And everybody will has their own opinions, but Seth was at work. After I got off the phone with law enforcement, I told Katie, I said, I'll call you right back. Next phone call, the next phone call I made was directly to Seth. Immediately. I called his phone. It went to voicemail. I didn't leave a voicemail. I sent him a text. As soon as you get this, call me immediately. 911. Still to this day, that's exactly what I told him. And he called me, and I told him, and I'll never forget that conversation. I won't. Nope. But I told him. He went to the house. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what people want. I mean, people are going to want their own answers and their own theories, but I promise you, it is very straight, black and white, no gray area. It's right down the middle.
And
here it is.
And Chris, I realize that people are
Up on that. Seth has been hurting since the moment he got the phone call and we talked. Seth has been hurting because he's missing his son. But then again, at the same time, you have a mother who is hurting just as equally. I am hurting just as much. Probably, I'm not going to say I know exactly how he feels because there's a difference in the stepfather and the father, of course. But at the same time,
I don't agree with that, by the way, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't ever want to, and I'm in that same situation.
But that cannot be true. From 6:03 to 6:33, we know nothing that they did. Out of an entire hour, when Sebastian was discovered missing at 6 o'clock, remember, she says within a couple minutes, she checks the entire house. She immediately calls Edgar. And then she said she got out to her car and started looking for Sebastian. No, because at 6:33 is when the calls start. Remember when Edgar said, "Here we go," or something like that? I think, in my opinion, that was what was said right before 6:33. Here we go. What if this goes south? Yes, Scotty. Yes, that's exactly right. What if this goes south? I think they had to delay calling SCSO until Edgar's phone was in the right location. Me too, Barbara. Me too, in my opinion as well. I believe he had to be right there on the job site before that call was going to start.
With my daughter and my ex-wife, you know, if there's another man that comes into a relationship, into a family, and that man steps up and becomes that extra parental figure, that father figure, dad figure, whatever, and they treat them good and they teach them well, to me, I don't think there's any difference. People say when you have a married man and woman and they never divorce and they stay together, that's amazing. But I also think those who are products of divorces are even luckier because they don't get one parent. They don't get two. They get four parents. They get four families. That, I mean, who could ask? Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want four families? That, I mean, that. I don't know.
Let me bring you up to speed on that.
Now, I understand that sometimes marriages don't work. I get it. But I also can understand. I mean, I think a marriage should stay together if at all possible, especially until the kids are 18, if possible, and you can still maintain a healthy environment. But he makes it sound like, you know, oh my God, they get, what kid can't do that? What kid wouldn't like four parents? Now, again, no judgment in that, but I mean, how many families has he mowed through in 20 years? You know what I mean? He's kind of mowed through a lot. Uh, it's not like he got married and just started over, and was this bonus parent. He got married again, got married again, got married again, and then got married again. So that's a lot of mowing. That's a lot of mowing. I would like to know what time did KK call Edgar to tell Sebastian was missing initially. 6:03 SL. 6:03 is when she called Edgar. 6:03. Out of all his marriages, was Nina the only one that had children? Was Nina the only one that had children? Well, Nina, KK had children, and I think the second or the third wife did as well, I think. Children want love, not war. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. This one is entitled Stop Lying.
Different creators just this week say that Seth hit Sebastian in the head and it's a fact and it's been proven. That is false. That is misinformation. That has not been proven factual information. Let me say it again. That is not factual information. Katie Proudfoot made allegations in a document during a custody battle and a divorce. That's it. They are allegations. Nothing has been proven as fact. In those same documents, Seth denied the allegations ever happening. During custody battles and divorces, parents will make the absolute worst allegations against the other parent, even including innocent people saying that they're witnesses to these allegations. Nowhere in that documentation did it say that the witnesses that Katie named testified under oath. So none of the statements that Katie made back then are factual or proven. If any of it was true, the judge would not have given both parents 50-50 custody.
Absolutely.
Chris, what time did you get home on Monday? Do you
Absolutely.
remember?
Judge would not have given 50-50 custody at all. Hold on, what was that? I'd much rather stay a single mom before marrying that bag of tricks. Yeah. It's definitely all he was mama's dickhead husband, in my opinion. That's pretty much it. I thought you were talking about Cruella. Her open houses comes with a free tour of broken morals. That's what her house tours come with, in my opinion, allegedly. If nothing happened, then what store there? What is that? Yeah, exactly. Sebastian has a father, and Edgar, you're not him, and you did not have permission from Seth to lay your hands on his. No, that's no. Holmes. Yeah, she's the only realtor who stages homes by hiding the truth under a throw rug as well. In my opinion, allegedly, but that's just me. You know. Oh, I need to switch this around. Here we go. Resting and listen to CP speak. You guys need to lay down and be resting and listen to CP speak in the interviews. It is chilling. It's ugh. He is clearly a very, very just ugh. And we're going to listen to this one right here. He's always been confident that there has been no sort of evidence about Sebastian going missing, that they found nothing. Very confident in that. And then this is something that is going to be studied for years. Like, this is something that they're going to teach in law school. Maybe about a musty hutch, but that's it. That's it, Edgar. Just a musty hutch and nothing else, in my opinion. You would think El Kennedy, she would speak, but you know, or just come right, Magic Star, exactly.
They, as of today, the National Guard was also brought in to help with the search, but they have had fixed wing aircraft, helicopters, horseback ATVs, side by side, door to door, scouring every neighborhood possible. I mean, the outreach from the community and various counties has been extremely welcoming, loved. I mean, it's, we've been told this is probably one of the largest searches that they've conducted with so much input that it's a case to be studied for sure.
You know, I try to picture Beth Holloway, Natalie Holloway's mother, saying something like that. I try to picture other parents who we know, you know, the case is solved and, you know, something happened to, you know, God forbid, but it happened to their child. And I think, how does a stepdad and a mom get up there and they say, yeah, there's just nothing, and this is something that's going to be studied for years, and he likes to pee and poop in his pants at school, and the constant disparaging of his stepson. I don't get it. I don't get it. But he forgets Sebastian is a child of God and his life has meaning, and even God knows how many. You're going to make me cry, soldier girl. Mm. I hope wherever Sebastian is right now, I hope he knows how many people are looking for him, how many people care for him and how many people are rooting for him to be found. I really do. I really do. He is, Susan. He is. I agree, Elisa. I agree. And I hope Summer knows that, and I hope Michael knows that. I hope they all know that. I really, really do. Ugh. Here it is. Listen to this.
Sebastian has pull-ups that he wears because Sebastian likes to pee in his pants and defecate in his pants. It has become a problem at school to the point where they've actually had to say something to us. So we even told them, said, look, either you figure out how to go to the bathroom or you're going in pull-ups. And for the longest time, I mean, there had sprouts where he would do what he was supposed to do, and then, excuse me, he wouldn't.
Okay, can I explain here?
Out of almost all the comments, this one gets me going the most. And I know a lot of people get stuck with he likes to pee and defecate in his pants. But for me, it's the fact that he says, look, you either figure it out or we're going to put you in pull-ups. You figure it out or we're going to put you in your pull-ups. And sometimes he would do good, and other times, I mean, I can't even understand. Like, Sebastian was a very bright kid, highly functional. And just the pressure of growing up in today's world, at school is a difficult thing. In those years, you really care what people think of you. And he's got the wherewithal to know that he may have had an accident. And of course, the possible judgment that can go along with that from other peers. I hope that didn't happen, but this is the real world we're talking about. And then just the psychological of, having a diaper attached to you because you're at, they don't want to give you other clothes. They don't want to, bring clothes to school where you can change. And just being, that age and, going to the bathroom, men's bathrooms are different than females. And it's just really sad to me that he says you figure it out or else you're going in this. Can't imagine. They say children. Well, yeah, it just says L on my end. I don't know if you're just L, but he was, something horrible happened to him in California, and you don't get over that. You know what I mean? You just don't get over that. And especially someone who has a chromosome deletion and is autistic. And then I just think it was, my opinion, it was the stresses of perhaps home. I don't know, but it doesn't sound like he had someone behind him that was, you just said, you figure it out or else. My child had a bathroom problem, I'd be making an appointment with the doctor. You would be figuring it out. You would, trying to help them figure out what is causing it, not you either figure it out or you're going in pull-ups. I don't know. He added the belt so nobody would ask them why a teenager is in pull-ups, in my opinion. Yep. Yep. That's right, bad actors. We don't. He did not want the teachers to see. I don't know, but it just is really sad to me that, listen.
They've actually had to say something to us. It has become a problem at school to the point where to pee in his pants and defecate in his pants. It has become a problem at school to the point where they've actually had to say something to us. So we even told them, I said, look, either you figure out how to go to the bathroom or you're going in pull-ups. And for the longest time, there had sprouts where he would do what he was supposed to do, and then, he wouldn't.
Okay, can I explain HIPAA to you, by the way?
It's, I don't know. Edgar should not even, yeah. Well, it's special needs students usually are assigned a teacher aside. Why didn't they ask between classes if he needed to go to the bathroom? Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's because it happens, it doesn't mean they want to do that, right? It's, yeah. Yes, we can. Where was 4-minute 50-second mark? All right, this is important. It's not going to be very long, I don't think, but nobody has ever shown this, but it's important. This is the Committee to Protect Children, 8/20/24, Sumner County, Tennessee. I don't think so yet, Deborah, in my opinion. All right. In the other clip with TL, Edgar says Sebastian. He says it in this one, the one I just played, Trishy. The one I just played. This is very interesting here. It's not, a lot of pizzazz with, any sort of personality, but it's important.
Thank you.
How far do I need to play it, girl mom?
So in 2023 alone, I have labeled just the amount of cases that we got just for Sumner County. So in 2023, we had a grand total of 1,475 referrals that were called in and worked by DCS here in Sumner County. And then if you look down case by allegations in 2023, it'll break it down as to all the different types of allegations that we worked with, excuse me, the highest total of cases being drug exposed child with 753 of those worked in 2023.
This is telling you it breaks down the CPS reports. Most of them in Sumner County.
And then you can see the grand totals.
Well, all
they
of them.
kind of break it down, lack of supervision. And then the next total being environmental neglect and physical abuse. And then we have a lot of domestic violence cases, as well as sexual abuse cases. So in 2023 alone, also
One of these guys are the judges, aren't they?
had asked if I can pull just our data based on our sexual abuse allegations, just to kind of look at that. So in 2023, we had a total of 270 cases, not just necessarily allegations, but cases with at least one allegation of sexual abuse. Of those cases, we had 55 that were classified as substantiated, meaning we had enough to say what the child said happened. And so we feel that this person who's listed as a perpetrator needs to be listed in our system as substantiated for sexual abuse. The next one's, and then you can just kind of read it, were classified different ways. There was also 40 in 2023 that were classified as either child with sexual behavior problems or unable to complete those child with sexual behavior problems. Those cases are concerning to me just because that's a child that is 12 and under who is showing significant concerns just acting out sexually towards another child or peer. Could be a family.
Now, 270 sexual allegations. This is one county.
A member, could be a classmate, and we don't substantiate children under the age of 13, so their classification is going to always be listed as child with sexual behavior problems.
So it used to say sexually reactive.
Correct. Yes, back in the old days it was sexually reactive. Now our classification is child with sexual behavior problems. Thus far in 2024, as of June 30th, we have had 106 cases with at least one allegation of sexual abuse. Of those cases, 24 have been classified as substantiated. 53 have been classified as unsubstantiated, and there's 22 that were closed with child with sexual behavior problems. So that kind of gives you just a scope of what is going on in our county with our children. Like I said, I think I mentioned in the last meeting, we have a lot of drug concerns, but lots of sexual abuse allegations as well. Probably the biggest concern in our county is drug exposed childhood.
And what is, for the Department of Children's Services purpose, what is a drug exposed child?
So the allegation varies based on the age of the child. So drug exposed child is any child that has a parent who is using substances while they are caring for a child. That's going to be the exposure piece. And if the child is under the age of 2, that's going to be a more severe impact because of the nature of the child's age. And then if the child is in utero, mother's using while pregnant, then that's going to be more of a severe abuse allegation on the front end because you've got an infant that's exposed to substance abuse, oftentimes going to be diagnosed with NAS, may not be diagnosed considering what type of substance mother is using. Like if it's meth, the child won't be diagnosed with NAS which is neonatal abstinence syndrome, because meth a lot of times doesn't have withdrawals. But we do see a lot of that. Probably the most common substance that we see right now is fentanyl, with the second most common currently.
There is so many kids dying of fentanyl right now. It's insane. Well, Americans alone, but it's crazy.
I would say going back and forth between meth and cocaine, but meth is kind of going on the back burner, and you're going to see a lot more of fentanyl and cocaine right now.
These
Yeah, I found that
kids,
to be true.
my God, the things that they
A
face.
lot of cocaine use.
And ecstasy is also kind of making a comeback, which is odd to me.
Is there a place in here where it's geographically identified, certain sections of the county or anything, where it's most?
It's hard for us to geographically identify based on pulling our data. I can do it, and I can ask the guy who pulls the data for me to see if he can break it down. I would say it's really, there's no respective of
No
places
big
though.
pockets where it's
There are
concentrated.
specific areas that
Yes.
have a more, like a
Maybe
higher
this is-
rate of a certain drug, but not a higher rate of drugs in general. So like in Westmoreland, you're gonna see a little bit more meth use there. Other than that, it's pretty much countywide,
How about reports of sexual abuse?
countywide.
No geographical focus on where it might be most prevalent.
No, countywide.
You said something, you said cocaine was kind of coming to the forefront, meth was taking a backseat or decreasing somewhat. That's interesting because cocaine's a more expensive drug, I think, not that I'd buy it or anything. But
The guy in
it's
the
more
blue,
expensive.
he is a judge.
Meth is used because of its
Yes, Grandma.
affordability. I wonder if cocaine is becoming more affordable because they're cutting it with fentanyl and you're seeing that.
Yes.
And it's coming to the forefront as a result of them cutting it with fentanyl. And we all know how dangerous that is.
Absolutely, everything's really being cut with fentanyl, and you don't really see a whole lot of meth labs now. So I've been with the department for 11 years. When I first started, there was a lot more labs, especially the shake and bake with backseat labs, and you just don't see that now because the risk versus reward is not there. And so people that are using meth are usually going to get it from a super lab in Mexico where it's being transferred over here. It's cheaper for everybody to use fentanyl, and so they're cutting things with fentanyl. We have a lot of people just use straight fentanyl, which 4 years ago you have not seen. Now we have plenty of parents that will say, I use fentanyl every day, and they know that they're using fentanyl. Yes, while pregnant.
So you see here that, how many cases was it in 1 year? Over 1,000 cases in one county. The shake and bake is it's how they make their math in a small lab, if you will. It's home math. I think they shake it. I don't know, girl mom. I don't know. But they said this was right here. It says how many right here. Let me just find this real quick so we can see it. How
I'm
many?
trying to find the DCS specific. Thank you. Have labeled just the amount of cases that we got just for Sumner County. So 2023, we had a grand total of 1,475.
1,475, 1,475 in 2023.
Referrals that were called in and worked by
Referrals.
DCS here in Sumner County. And then if you look down case by allegations in 2023, it'll break it down as to all the different types of allegations that we worked.
Okay, here's the allegations.
With, excuse me, the highest total of cases being drug exposed.
Number one is drug exposed. Number one is drug exposed.
Child, with 753 of those worked in 2023.
So half of all of their cases has to do with drug exposure.
And then you can see the grand total where they kind of break it down, lack of supervision. And then the next total being environmental neglect and physical abuse. And then we have a lot of domestic violence cases, as well as sexual abuse cases.
So environmental neglect would be the next. and then physical abuse, and then sexual abuse. Those are the top 4. Those are the top 4. Lack of supervision. That would be neglect, yeah. That would be neglect. That's really, really sad. Really sad. Okay. Now we are going to move along here. And Virginia Giuffre. Am I saying her name right? Let me make sure I'm saying it right. Her life turned into hell after she got money from the payout that was given to her. Oh, most goes unreported. Absolutely. Absolutely. Virginia Giuffre, she is one of the victims, allegedly, from Prince Andrew. Of course, Girl Mom, thank you. It doesn't say Jeffrey. Turn into hell after Prince Andrew multi-million-pound payout from messy marriage breakdown to bizarre bus crash and her state in hospital admissions. Remember, she said she had how many days left? 4 when she was in the hospital. How does she have this mysterious bus crash and then she goes into renal failure? She gets out of the hospital and then she is dead. She unalives herself, allegedly. Okay. Her tragic life crash around her life crashed around her as she received a multi-million payout from Andrew, the 41-year-old trafficking victim who's allegedly unalived herself, announced by her family yesterday morning, released a slew of troubles social media posts in the months leading up to her death. Her final post revealed she was hospitalized and claimed she only had 4 days to live after a bizarre bus crash, which police later said was minor and caused less than $1,000 in damage. To me, in my opinion, I mean, did you guys see the picture of her? Did you see the picture of her? She was very damaged. And the people, there was like 29 children on the bus. This was a school bus. 29 people, children, and the parents said they weren't traumatized at all. So, did something else happen to her? But she was Diana. Do you think so? I don't know. I don't know. It caused less than $1,000 in damage. It came after a brutal breakup from her estranged husband of 22 years with a bitter battle of custody over access to children. According to her father, Robert, she was going through a, quote, messy, end quote, divorce and no longer lived with Robert in their 900,000 pound beach mansion in Perth, Australia. She later returned to Instagram to share a link to a breakup song, Somebody That I Used to Know by Australian artist, is it T? Followed by a blank story which had a broken heart emoji as the title. Virginia claimed she was abused by Prince Andrew at the behest of Epstein's ex-girlfriend, jailed British socialite Julianne Maxwell, where she was just 17, which the prince denies. That, look at there. Look at that. How did that happen? We're not being told something. We are not being told something, either from her or from someone else. I understand she was going through a bad breakup, and from what I understand, her husband was her rock. It has been said she was drinking hard. Why would she off herself if she was having kidney failure? Justin, wouldn't they have taken out her way before they paid all of that money? No. No, not necessarily. Mm-mm. She said her kidneys were shutting down after the accident. Yeah, she said she had 4 days to live, which doctors don't normally say you just have 4 days to live. The Duke of York was forced to pay out a settlement reportedly worth around £12 million after Virginia alleged that the pedo Epstein trafficked her across the world to have sex with the prince. He has denied ever having sex with her. Now remember, there is pictures of the prince and her together. I have always believed, Virginia, just in one denominator with Diana and Virginia, the royal family. You ain't kidding there. You ain't kidding there. Here is her and her estranged husband, 22 years together, battling over their kids and all that. She had allegedly had been assaulted, the prince, 3 times in London during her 2001 trip at Epstein's New York mansion when she was 17 and in the Virgin Islands when she was 18. Andrew repeatedly denied her allegations and has said he can't recall ever meeting her. Although a photograph of them together in the London townhouse, his arm around her bare midriff, was included in Virginia's lawsuit against him. The settlement did not involve any admission of liability on his behalf, and his denies any of the sexual contact with her. Virginia Nee Roberts sparked global concern last month when she posted a photograph from her hospital bed on March 30th, claiming doctors had told her she had just 4 days to live. She said her car had been hit by a school bus traveling 110 kilometers per hour, and the accident had left her in kidney failure. The shocking photograph showed discoloration, to Virginia's face and chest, which appeared to be severe bruising. But the bus driver, Sean Munns, and multiple passengers later came forward claiming the crash was nothing more than a minor bump. Here is some videos of Virginia.
It's not how Giuffre died, but it's how he lived. And we need to get to the bottom of everybody who was involved with that, starting with Ghislaine Maxwell and going along the lines there. I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand, and I've been fighting that very world to this day, and I won't stop fighting. I will never be silenced until these people are brought to justice. So thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
What do you make of Prince Andrew's denial?
That's when Jeffrey Epstein died. Kiki, thank you so much, my friend, for your support. We really do appreciate you. In my opinion, I feel it was punishment control issue. You never know. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. Really do appreciate you. She tried to sue another millionaire, was thrown out of court. Sometimes they settle out of court. You know what I mean? Can I show the picture of her husband again? Sure, of course. Right here. This is her and her husband. That from August 2020 to right before she died, it's just been a lot. These two evil fucks. Look at a Prince. Tell me. If you've ever watched his interview where he is denying these claims, he is a really bad liar, in my opinion. When does a Prince next to a 17-year-old holding her midriff, a Prince, and with Maxwell right there? Come on now. Come on. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it. Consider becoming a member if you haven't become a member yet. She has been living alone in her $600,000 country property after splitting from her husband. This was her property in Australia. Here is her and her husband again. Well, ex-husband, soon to be. This is her brother. He paid tribute to her on social media by displaying a photo of him and his sister. In August 2020, Virginia posted a video from the hospital bed in Queensland in which she appeared to have 2 black eyes and severe bruising around her neck. What happened? Is there some DV or something that we're not knowing? I would call me crazy if you convinced me 4 days I'd cover all of the T's. Sad over all the way she's young. Yeah. In November 2023, Virginia was hospitalized again for spinal surgery and took to social media to thank her husband for spoiling her with pancakes. With a photo of herself as a teen when she says she was abused by Epstein. It makes me wonder if she perhaps caused this crash on her own so she could explain the bruises for whatever reason. Because they say it was no more than a fender bender. But London Thomas' body. Oh my God, really? Where was she found? Yep. Thank you for telling me that. Let me just show you this, guys, real quick. It certainly has.
With a breaking news alert.
Remember
We
London
begin with
Thomas?
that breaking news, a tragic update to a story we've been following for weeks. Family of London Thomas tells us the 17-year-old's body has been found. It's been 3 weeks since London was last seen. 7 News Detroit reporter Tierra Braddock live in Southfield for us tonight. And Tierra, lots of questions remain tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Whitney. And London's mom texted me about an hour and a half ago saying that her daughter was, quote, "It's true, she's gone." Now, just a sad situation. London, only 17 years old, and sources tell us that her body was found in Southfield in the area of 8 Mile and Telegraph. Now, this information is just preliminary, and so I want everyone to keep that in mind. But we've been following this case for weeks now. She went missing on April 5th from Inkster. Police, family, and
Y'all remember we talked about her the other day? We did a live on her. Her boyfriend was named
for
suspect.
weeks now. She went missing on April 5th from Inkster. Police, family, and even complete strangers have been searching for her. Last week, police raided the home of London's boyfriend, which is in Inkster. Now, that's where she was last seen. Police have confirmed the 23-year-old is a person of interest in London's disappearance. We spoke to London's dad a few weeks ago at one of the search parties. Hear what he had to say about his daughter.
London is my best friend. She's a good kid. She's very talented. She's down to earth. Everybody love her. She do hair and makeup. She, she's well known. She's a little artist. She like to rap and dance and sing.
That's sad, man.
Just a very sad situation. Now, we are still trying to find out more details about exactly what's surrounding her death and where she was found. But once we figure out that information, we'll be sure to make sure everyone knows online and at home. But for now, we're just going to figure out some stuff out here, Whitney.
All right, Tiara, thank you so much for your live reporting. Hard details to hear there. And we know this is a case so many of you have been following at home. As Tiara said, we'll continue to bring you updates on air and online at WXYZ.com. That's where you can also.
Wow. I don't know exactly where she was the entire time. But she was out there. And remember, the boyfriend was one that they named a suspect pretty quick. Her beautiful little braces. Yeah. 17 years young, y'all. 17 years young. So Andrew repeatedly denied her allegations and said he can't recall ever meeting her through a photograph, although a photograph of them together in London townhouse, his arms around her midriff, was included in the lawsuit against him. The settlement did not involve any admission of liability on his behalf, and he denies any sexual contact with her. Virginia said her car had been hit by a school bus traveling 110 kilometers an hour. I think I read all that. The shocking photograph showed discolors of Virginia's face and chest, which appeared to be severe bruising, but the bus driver said it was no more than a minor bump. 2020, August of 2020, she was hospitalized with 2 black eyes and bruising around her neck. It looked like she had literally been choked then. They did name suspect here, so what? They did name It just depends, Rachel. It just depends on who it is. I mean, I wish they would name some suspects in Sebastian's case publicly, but in August of 2021, 1 year later after her hospitalization, this is when she filed a lawsuit against Andrew because she said the statute of limitations had ran its course. So what she did was say these allegations, and all he had to do was call her a liar, and then she could sue. Her life was tragic from a young age. She was done sadly. She really was, Rocco. Really sad. Really sad. It breaks my heart for ladies like this who they've just been used. Just been used for their body, been used by men, and all they wanted was some attention and love. and they were used up and just discarded. There is so many, guys out there particularly who they just want something to put it in. That's all they want. That's it. And they move along. I mean, some of these stars and politicians and all of them, they have been with so many people. It is ungodly to even think. Depends on where she was hit. I've got scars on my eye from eating the windshield. It also was my jaw and lower parts. Yep. She's been in a bitter divorce, and it's a custody battle and all that. But it just kind of makes me think of like her, and I think of like Anna Nicole Smith and like these people. Like I don't know. Just really sad to me. I don't know. Did London live in the US or the UK? I don't know. December of 2021, Miss Maxwell is convicted of 5 sex trafficking related counts. She later received a 20-year prison sentence, January of 2022. So the following month, even though it's a different year, Prince Andrew filed documents denying all charges of Virginia's and requested a trial by jury. He was formally stripped of his royal titles by the Queen, his Mimi, on January 13th. The next month, Prince Andrew agreed to an out-of-court settlement and paid Virginia with an undisclosed amount of money. Some people say it was around 13 million pounds. November 2023, Virginia is back in the hospital for spinal surgery. A couple months later, by January 3rd, 2024, was her last post on Instagram with her husband, Robert. That same month, she had a quad bike accident with her daughter. 1 year, almost to the day, she is in hospital after an incident left her with undisclosed injuries. February 2025, Virginia allegedly breaches family violence restraining order. March 22nd, 2025, she alleges her children are being poisoned with lies against her. That's this year. That's last month. That's 3.5 weeks ago. March 24th, 2025, she's in this passenger in a vehicle involved in a minor school bus accident. Here is a picture of the actual school bus. Jesus. And this is March 30th is when she claims she has 4 days to live. I spoke about it then. Whenever she said she had 4 days to live, I was like, oh my God, that's really terrible. Husband signed a prenup. Sounds like there was some family violence going on or something. I don't know. April 9th, 2025, due to face court for her breach in family violence restraining order. Prince Andrew's ex-lady Victoria sparks fury with vile post after Virginia. Oh, wow. Western Australian police confirmed that they had one recent record of a minor bus car collision with no reported injuries on March 24th after 3 p.m. Okay, so this is my question. If there was no reported injuries at this bus accident, then why the hell does she look like she's been beat up and only has 4 days to live? Yeah, I can show you the school bus. It's this little thing right there. I can see if I can make it bigger for you. Right here. I mean, it's literally nothing. I mean, they said it did. I mean, listen, it did less than $1,000 worth of damage. In 2013, I had just bought a brand new QX. They were QX56 and they renamed them to QX80s. So a QX80, and it was brand new. And I had it for a week. And I was driving home late one night and a deer jumped out over the fence and jumped right on it, and I obliterated that deer. And the camera on that car cost $1,500 to replace it. Just the camera. It did like $14,000 in damage. $1,000 on a bus is nothing. Nothing. The car wasn't for you, Justin. I mean, it was a good car. I mean, they fixed it. It didn't total it because the airbags didn't go out. But it just doesn't seem... It just seems like we're not being told something here, in my opinion. According to reports, Virginia admitted herself into... I think it's Joondalup. How do you pronounce it? Okay, Joondalup's hospital in the northern suburb of Perth with a pre-existing injury after the collision, but discharged the following day. The following week, Virginia was brought to Sir Charles Gardner Hospital, also in Perth, by ambulance and was seeking treatment for pain. 3 days after the picture emerged, a spokesperson for Virginia said she had, quote, made a mistake, end quote, and had not intended to share the post publicly. But on April 7th, 2 weeks ago, she was discharged from Sir Charles Gardner Hospital in Perth after a week-long stay. The following day, she was spotted by Daily Mail Australia photographer where she flipped her middle finger as her brother Danny Wilson drove off in their 70,000-pound Chevy Silverado. God, they always make it a drama, these tabloid people. Their 70,000-pound Silverado. Shut up. Sorry. Virginia had been living alone in her 600,000-pound property after splitting from her husband. While he had initially joined the town's social media pages, posting about his wish to keep bees and plant native trees, he is now living 40 miles away in Perth beach house with their 3 children. She bought a 40-acre home surrounded by barbed wire fences and high-tech CCTV after the settlement from the Duke of York. The mother of 3 had previously admitted that her profile was a lot for her teenage children. They misspelled children to carry, and there were rumors that she had also become estranged from them in the run-up to her death. That could be it. If she hadn't been speaking to her children, that might have been a lot. That might have been too much for her. Might have been too much for her. Her husband beat and kicked her before she got into the car, in my opinion. I feel like there was some DV going on here and maybe some addiction. Respectfully. I don't say that as in a dig or anything like that. I say that as concern. Just my opinion. And she had allegedly been accused of breaching the family violence restraining order at the family home and was due to enter a plea in June. Quote, "You don't know the half of it," one neighbor told the Mail earlier this month. "I can't really say anymore, but none of this surprises me," end quote. The pair had met in Thailand while Virginia was on a massage training course paid for by Epstein. That makes me want to throw the fuck up. That motherfucker paid for her. He sent her to Thailand for a massage course. So she could massage his crusty ass self. It's bad, man. Her husband helped her escape and hid her well. Oh my God. They were married 2 weeks later. Originally born in Florida, she and Robert moved to Australia in 2019 prior to Epstein being arrested. That's really sad. Damn, that's really sad. That kind of reminds me of the Mindy McCready. I don't know if anybody guys know who she is. She was a country singer. She had a lot of relationship problems. She unalived herself on the porch and her dog. She was a country singer. She suffered from addiction and a lot of things. And she was with this guy, and they saved each other, but they also tore each other down. And these two, like, he saved her, you know, from Epstein and all of them. But yet they were married 22 years, had kids, and I just don't think she knew how to survive without him, to be honest with you. Remember Mindy McCready? I love Mindy McCready. I was a big fan of hers. I love country music, though. Guys do it all the time. You expect us to understand. Yeah. I love Mindy McCready. Ooh, God, I almost like to say. She's a good person. She was just really, you know, some of the best souls are the most sensitive. They really are. They just don't know how to deal with life sometimes. 2 days before the car crash on March 22nd, Virginia posted a sun-dappled picture of her children on the beach, accompanied by an apparent desperate plea to see them. "My beautiful babies have no clue how much I love them, and they're being poisoned with lies," she posted. "I miss them so very much. I have been through hell and back in my 41 years, but this is incredibly hurting me worse than anything else. Hurt me, abused me, but don't take my babies. My heart is shattered, and every day that passes, my sadness only deepens." In the post from her hospital bed a week later, Virginia said, I don't mean to say this. I'm just trying to be truthful with y'all, right? But I wonder if she did that hospital stint and that wreck as a cry for help and so that perhaps she could get some attention from her kids. You understand what I mean? One second, y'all. All right, sorry about that. When someone threatens to take your yeah, Babs. That's kind of what I might be. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. I don't know. I think it might have been a cry for help. Still think it needs investigated, though. Still think it needs investigated for sure. It was not the first time. Okay. She said she had 4 days to live, transferring me to a specialist hospital in urology. I'm ready to go, just not until I see my babies one last time. My heart is shattered. Every day that passes saddens, only deepens. It was not the first time that Virginia had been hospitalized after a series of accidents resulted in her needing medical attention. In August of 2020, Virginia posted a video from a hospital in Queensland in which she appeared to have 2 black eyes and severe bruising around her neck. While she did not go into detail about her injuries or their cause, she said she was in ICU and thanked all people from around the world for their support. I mean, look at her eyes and stuff there. It's really sad. She had been hospitalized in spinal surgery and all that, saying thanks for all the love. I was trying to clock out a T-Rex for my daughter on an ATV and lost control, she wrote. Thanks heavens that we are both on the road to recovery. A year later, in January 9, 2025, Virginia said she was once again in the hospital. She was allegedly involved in the incident near Dunsborough, Western Australia, that reportedly left her with undisclosed injuries, needing medical attention. Beautiful girl, just a beautiful girl. Her family says she had lost her life due to unaliving herself after being a lifelong victim of S abuse and S trafficking. That just makes me want to cry. God, that's so sad. Oh. Yeah, Babs, you got to keep going though. Those moments when you literally just, for whatever reason, don't feel like you can go anymore, go to bed. Just go to bed. Tomorrow's a new day. You got to make it to bedtime. On those really hard days, tell yourself, I just got to make it till bedtime. I just got to make it till bedtime. And if bedtime needs to come early, go to bed early. Go to sleep. Sleep it off. And then tomorrow is another day. Every person that ever tried to commit unaliving themselves and survives, like the moment they jump off that bridge or whatever and they end up surviving, they say the minute that they jump off or do whatever, they regretted it. They all say it. So many of these people say immediately as soon as they did it, they regret it. Now, just take care of yourself. There's always a way out. There's always a way out. Just make it till bedtime if you have to. It really is just a very, very sad, tragic story. And yes, reach out. Yes, get help. Yeah. Yeah, baby kisses. It can be tough sometimes. It really can. But most things are temporary. I can't imagine, Scotty. I can't imagine. No. I can't imagine. Really can't. That's what I tell myself on those hard days, really hard days. I've got to make it to bedtime tomorrow. Tomorrow's new. And then when tomorrow comes, if that's a bad day, I just have to make it till bedtime again. That's right, baby kisses. They do. They do. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you. It's 12:09. We're officially in Sunday now. I will see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really, really do appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. That's right. Get help. Your shine is needed. That's right. Love you all. Really do appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here and your support. You mean more to me than you know. Thank you all. Good night, everyone. God bless.